Hey, Devin Ortiz here, your local real estate expert here with Chris Catania from Guaranteed Rate, and we're going to be discussing the construction loan. So can you tell me a little bit about the steps necessary in order to secure a construction loan?
Yeah, so depending on the type of construction loan that you're doing, they all vary a little bit as far as getting the project off the ground. But what a lot of people need to know, and where I feel like a lot of people miss the information, is understanding what it takes to get a piece of property from raw, unimproved property to a house, right? Biggest thing they overlook is the utilities, right? How much is it going to cost me to get water, electricity, and sewer onto this property? People tend to look at the cost of the structure, but it's also the infrastructure to get the house there. So once we talk about that, that's generally like a pretty good conversation, and people are either in or out after they have that conversation, because depending on the area of the county or the county that you're in, or maybe even the state that you're in, that can be easier and more difficult. After that, it becomes, how does a construction loan work? So essentially you're going to borrow the money either in two parts. Either you're going to buy the land first and then you're going to borrow the money for the construction, or you're going to do it all at one time, which they call a one-time close. When you do that, you're going to borrow the money for the land, and then you're going to borrow the money for the proposed construction, and it's going to be released to you in draws. So as you go through the house, you're going to grade the property, and you're going to get money released to the grading contractor for that, and the loan is going to grow as you hit different phases of construction until you end up with your full line drawn, your house is complete, and then it rolls over into permanent financing. Sometimes you got to refinance when it's done. Sometimes it rolls right over into long-term financing that you can stick with for quite a while.
Is there a time specified that you have to then complete the build by?
Yeah, you choose that when you start the loan. So depending on how much due diligence and how much legwork you've done when the loan funds, can depend on how long you're going to require for construction. Some are as short as 6 months. You can usually stretch it out for 18 months. Given the nature of construction, not everything happens exactly on time, so you can't extend those time periods, but sometimes it will cost money to extend those time periods. So got to have a realistic expectation of where you're at in the process and how long you think it's going to take to complete. So you set that up properly from day one.
And if this video interests you, feel free to hit the contact button below or reach out to us directly, as there's going to be a plethora of information that we're going to need to go over to ensure that you're making a well-informed decision when it comes to your next construction loan. And thank you for taking the time to go over this with us.